Hey guys! Hey my loves! So I have 14 subscribers now, which is amazing. I just wanted to say that before I made this talking video. I'm so happy that this YouTube is growing because that's what I really wanted at the beginning, and just thank you guys all so much for subscribing. When I have 100 subscribers, I'm planning on doing a giveaway. So yeah, I just really want to give back to my subscribers. Probably like 100, around 100 or 200, depending on like how much money I have at that time. But I'm pretty far from 100, so we have a long journey ahead of us. Anyways, so hey guys, and today I'm going to be telling you guys about my writing story. I realized that, I'm sorry about this little thing right here. I realized that I'm friends with some equestrians, and I have been requesting them to do my writing story because I love watching those. And I haven't really done one, so I decided to do one for you guys since I haven't really uploaded a talking video in a while, so here it is. So before I start, I just want to say that I have been writing constantly in lessons for like 10 months. I know it's not a long time, but I've been around horses like my whole life. I've not rode my whole life, haven't had a horse my whole life. It's just I've been around horses, and yeah. So it all started when I was born, September 1st, 2000. No, I'm just kidding. It started, horseback riding kind of started, not riding, but taking care of horses kind of started when I was around 4 or 5. And my mom, let me just tell you the background about my mom and my dad, because this really plays into why my childhood was revolved around horses and just everything. So when my mom was like around teenager ages, she had like 4 horses, and that was a really weird. She had like 4 horses, and she was horse crazy. You know, she had her own horses. She did English, hunter jumper, and hunter, and Western pleasure. That's what she showed. So she was always around horses. She loves horses still. My dad, he used to clean stables for money. Basically, he rode sometimes, but he was never like a competitor or whatever. He never did showing. So both my parents love horses, and that's why I was around horses. So I was like 4 or 5, and we partial leased this horse named Jackie. And I don't really remember that much about the horse. I'm sorry, I was really young. But there's pictures of us, and my mom used to ride it. I rode it before too. So we only partially leased her for a couple of months, and then I remember we had to move or something. But I remember my 5th or 6th birthday was where I used to live. There was a lot of horses, and horses were kind of big there. English was big or whatever, especially around where I lived. So there's this barn or whatever who we could do pony rides for our birthday. So, and they would just like walk you around. So that's when I first started liking horses, I guess. But then we did this big move away from all the horses where I used to live. And I'm still living here now where we moved to. And I was still interested in horses when I moved here, but there wasn't any barns around us. We couldn't find any. They were really expensive too. And they just weren't worth the drive at the time. So I kind of like got out of the phase of horses, I guess. My parents just said it was a phase. I still loved horses though. Like, I just kind of like stopped thinking about them because I knew I couldn't ride, and my parents couldn't pay for it and all this other stuff. So I kind of moved on to, also when I was in my other state, I did gymnastics, and that's the main sport I played. So when I came out here, I decided to move on to tennis. Let me just tell you guys, throughout my childhood, I played so many sports. So I moved to tennis, and then I stopped tennis, and I started playing golf and basketball. I didn't keep playing golf for that long. Then I became a cheerleader around my sixth grade year, and now I did this whole time skip from like when I was 6 to my 6th grade year, because nothing really happened with horses in there. I still looked at pictures of horses and loved horses and just looked at videos of them and everything like that. I just didn't ride. I wasn't around them or anything like that. So my 6th grade year is when I started becoming obsessed with horses again. I don't remember how it happened. I really cannot remember how it happened. But I just started caring about horses. You know, I just like got back to the books and the pictures and just looking at them. And I think it was my 8th I don't remember. Crap, let me think. It was my... Okay, I was in, I want to say 7th grade. I was in 8th grade. I was in 8th grade. In 7th grade, I kept looking for barns, I think. And my mom kept disposing of the idea. She was just throwing it away. She would be like, no, we don't have money. It's not the right time, or blah, blah, blah. So I kind of just gave up after a while. And then I think my 8th grade year, I cannot remember this. Okay. The beginning of my 8th grade year, I started looking, actually it wasn't the beginning, it was like November-ish. I got out of cheerleading because I switched schools and cheerleading was already done for the season when I moved there. So I think it was actually around November, December, yeah. So I started kind of getting back into horses again. I know I keep switching from, yeah, I don't know why I kept switching. I think I always loved horses, but I just knew I couldn't have one, I couldn't ride one, you know, especially not where I live now. So I started looking into barns, having hopeless dreams again. And I found so many barns, and I just kept showing my mom. I was like, I remember the day I was like at my grandma's house looking at barns, because my mom actually agreed to looking for some that day. So I was just looking at them, kind of like giving her all these ideas of what barn we should go to. She's like, well, there's no good ones around here. I actually remember I skipped this big portion. In 7th and 8th, around the end in the beginning of 7th grade, I rode horses with this is how I got back into them. Now I remember. I rode horses with my mom's friend who had horses, and when we came out here, she was riding with them, and then I got to ride. I rode with her twice, and we would just go on trail rides. It would be Western. Now I want to tell you guys, all of my life up until now, I've rode Western only, not English. So yeah, that's what it's basically consisted of, Western. So yeah, I did that, and that's how I kind of got back into horses. And then my mom wouldn't let me take lessons. So one day I finally convinced her, and yeah, so I was looking at all this horse stuff, and I knew I wanted to take English lessons. I knew I wanted to be a jumper. I don't know how I knew, but I just knew that I was meant to be a jumper. I was meant to ride English. So I found the barn that I'm at now, and I showed it to my mom. And then I remember the day that my cat is chewing on my hot bun. Gabby! No! No. She don't listen. So I remember the day that she was looking at me like I'm a little brat now. Because she was my hot bun. She was chewing on it. Oh, there's like string coming. I remember the day that me and my mom were in the car, and we were calling the barn to see if they did like unloan lessons or whatever else, and what they had, and blah blah, how much it was. So we were outside of the loan center getting not the loan for the lessons, getting a loan for something else. And my mom called, and she was like blah blah blah, asking her, and my trainer named Peggy, she was really nice. And then that's how we met Peggy, and that's how I got in my barn. So that's how it happened. And my mom finally agreed to it, and now my grandma pays for my lessons. Thank you guys so much for watching. That was my riding story, and I'm thinking about doing a question and answer, but I feel like nobody's gonna ask me questions. So I mean, if you want to ask me a question or questions, comment them below. But if you don't, then if no one asks questions, I'm probably not gonna do one. But please ask me questions down below. So love you guys, and bye.